Well, I think the first thing we have to do is just do it, right? I mean, that we have to decide that what we want is to create community, which is really about how we relate to each other, right? And community for the purpose of learning. And so in order to do that, I think we first decide we're going to do it, and then we find the people who want to join with us on that journey. And hopefully there'll be people who have some reason for being part of that community, some connection to it, some relevant need. A strong learning community are people that are coming together to advance their skills and knowledge in an area that is unique to them. They come together because they are interested in learning about the same kinds of things. And then I think that they also have to have rules of the road. There's some way that they're going to work together that creates a democratic ethos. So how I work together best in a learning community is through equal sharing. Everybody has airtime, everybody has a say, no voice is dominant, or no political or ideological stand dominates another. So we have rules of the road. We decide to come together. We have rules of the road to work together, and then I think the other thing that's strong in a learning community is that we have a practice like action learning that asks us to stop and reflect not only on what we're learning, but to challenge it, and also to stop and reflect on how we're working together as a group. That's an excellent question, and I think absolutely, in the very design of action learning is a premise that our biggest need is to learn to question knowledge as it's currently given. And if I want to create an inclusive community, then one of the first things I have to do is to challenge my assumptions about the other. So how other people think becomes treasured as a resource for the action learning to occur. So I have to create this culture where not only have I included you, but I've respected you, and I've respected the fact that together we can do something much bigger than what each of us could do alone. It's because you bring another perspective. It's that other perspective in action learning that allows for creative problem solving to occur. So it's not that I'm trying to change your perspective necessarily. I'm trying to understand it and make meaning of it. And action learning, through the questioning process, through the challenging of assumptions that we bring, and the group ethos of egalitarian work, all of it contributes, I think, very much to trying to build the kind of interaction and dialogue essential to building a strong learning community. Well, I think that the most important criteria is that you're dealing with open-ended learning problems, right? That I'm really trying to solve or think through an issue that doesn't have a known solution. Now, if we had one, we'd already be using it. And sometimes we start out a process and it turns out that somebody in the group has a solution, right? That doesn't work really well. And so there's two things that matter a great deal. One is, I think, this notion of having a really open-ended, challenging problem that we can work on, where nobody knows what the solution is. And I think the other is that the people in the group have to be committed to work on the group, that the dynamics and process of the group are just as important as the content of what we work on. So I might have as a goal enhancing diversity and inclusion, right? But if I am also not committed to learning to work with the diverse people in this group to model it myself, then it is highly likely to be unsuccessful. So we have to have the commitment to going into the unknown of a problem and doing it in a way that respects each other and respects group dynamics.